All right, perfect. So um, let's get the measurements. I think most of them are good to trade. It's just going to be, I think there's one of them where it's been, I think there's only been one, but the range is quite wide. I think this is the one. Yeah, but that's still 28 pips. That's okay. New York, yeah, New York session. So we've got to wait like 15 minutes for it. So let me see what's while waiting for that. Then what I'll do is let me make sure that my is uploaded. Alright, take profit in pips. 15, and then stop loss 30. Alright, so we can add a trailing stop and so forth if we want to, but I'm not going to do that. And then hit Alt trading, and now I've got the smiley face, which will mean that when I place my order, actually I'll test it out right now. If I go trading buy stop, and that should place my take profit and stop loss order. There it is, 15 and 30. Alright, cool, perfect. Alright, so we'll delete this because we don't need that there right now. So that's while that's going on. Actually, let me go to a new chart. Anyone would do plain. There we go. Right, so I'll take a trade on one of these. So this is broken out to the upside, as you can see. It's broken out here. This would be the ideal place to sell it, but here, from here, I can sell it from here. So if I sell it from here at 2 lots, there, my auto protect stop loss should be 10. Yeah, because it's set according to the template. Yeah. Now, what I'll do is, because if this thing runs against me, I don't want to lose in this trade. I'm gonna come up here, trading, buy stop. Oh, my bad. Delete that. Sorry. Buy stop needs to be for 6 lots, so put my 6 in here. So it needs to be 3 times the amount of the original trade. Trading, buy stop. Leave that there. Cable moves during the New York session and the European session, so it should be alright. We'll see how it plays out. We've got our trade opened here as a sell, and then we've got our hedge opened here if it runs against us. So it's a bit shitty when it's not moving much, isn't it? But we've got like about 12 minutes till the New York open, so I just want to take a trade in the meantime. While I'm doing that, let me bring up the Forex calendar, and then we can have a quick look and see if there's anything to decipher here on the New York session. So while that's playing out, let's have a quick look. Time is 12:47, that's correct. And at half one, we've got core retail sales in the US. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a high impact event, should help with some movement in the market at 1:30. So we'll see what that plays out with. But we should still get a break at 1 o'clock anyway, regardless. For the rest of the week, let's see what we've got. Building permits. So we've got a few. Well, we've got one impact event during our session, then early as morning for China and Australia. We've got news coming out. Then the rest of it is medium impact news. So I don't know if that'll move much markets much. We've got a few FOMC members speaking, but they won't necessarily move the markets. FOMC members. The reason being is because it's not the head of the Federal Reserve, and it's probably not going to be a great debate. They'll have their opinions of what they think, but it doesn't mean it'll deter the Fed from doing what they plan to do anyway. So Wednesday gets more interesting. CPI at 9:30 on Wednesday. Should be good for the opens. Then we've got CAD news coming out. We've got their official rate coming out, and the expectation is that it will stay the same. So more than likely it will stay the same. We always know about these kind of things in advance. And then crude oil inventories is always a good mover. So it's always good to trade crude inventories as well. And then Thursday we're looking at this. It's quite active overnight, isn't it? Wednesday, Thursday. Um, Then we've got again 9:30 retail sales. That should be good for the opens. And then we've got CAD news on Friday, 1:30. Alright, cool. Let's look back and see what's going on here then with this trade. So you see now this has started moving in my favour. I don't need to actually run up and do anything. I don't need to trail anything or anything like that. I don't need to actually do anything. If I want, I can leave it, let it hit its target without having to worry too much about, is it going to run against me? Is it not? But I'll still trail it. But we'll just give it a bit more time to just choose that direction in our favour, if that's what it's going to do. So, and if it doesn't, then we'll let it play out and we'll let the other position open as well. Let's have a look here. Still waiting for this pound dollar trade, but I'm still going to take the breakout on the New York Open here, by the way, just so you know. Even though I've taken this trade here because it's a completely separate trade, so I can have both of them at the same time. It's not really a big deal to do that. So these are all looking like buy trades really on the opens, but where you've seen the market move considerably in one direction, you could now see reversals. Because remember, you've also got a new set of traders in terms of like the US coming to the market, because it's the morning for them to come in and enter. Dollar yen has been a bit crappy. Are you still in that, Josh? That dollar yen trade? It's been a bit slow, isn't it? And the range on the London Open on this was pretty crappy as well. New Zealand dollar again with the trend. This thing should be selling off. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD's very rangy, as you can see. Same with the Aussie. Pound yen has got the biggest range, I believe. 30 pips, which is fine. So I'm still going to take these trades as we do them. I'm going to take them all out. I'm going to take them all on a 2-lot entry, just so you can see if they do fail and go against us, what we can do about it. So this one here seems to be going in our favour. So obviously it's not much opportunity to watch the other position play out. So we'll see how that goes along when that does happen. So it's a bit of a waiting game now. There's only a few minutes to go. So let's just keep our eye on our trade opportunity here that we were in. Things pushing down a bit more in our favour. Let's go to 5-minute time frame and see. It doesn't need much. What does it need? About another 6-7 pips. That'll push down. So it needs to come in, needs to hit the for it to close out here. It will close out. Are you using? Yeah, that's correct, Josh. That's what I'm doing. I'm using the 30-15 on that. So I'm going to look 15 pips profit, 30 pips stop loss, and then see how that runs for me. So we'll see from there how that works out. Again, we've only got like 7 minutes now. Bit of a waiting game. While waiting for that to happen, but that's what we do, and that's what trading's like a lot of times, isn't it? You're just waiting around and seeing and stuff like that. Let's look, a bit of gap there. This is the 1 minute time frame. On the 1 minute time frame, you see the markets moving in the 1 minute time frame. Yeah. The only thing is to remember on the 1 minute time frame is to bear in mind that, for example, this is a big candle here that you can see. Yeah. So you can see that. Yeah. So where's my pen? You can see from the high here to the low here of the candle, that's a big candle, yeah? But if we measure this from here to here, that's an 8-pip move, yeah? Because it's a 1 minute time frame. So that's what you got to remember when you go smaller time frames. I'm not looking to trade off the 1 minute, I'm simply just looking at the price action to see what it's doing in terms of price action. As you see, the same sort of patterns play out every single time. in the markets. No matter what time frame you go to, you'll see it. But the higher the time frame, the more accurate the move. Things knocking on this high here. If you guys can see that as well. So let's see how that plays out for us. We're just basically killing time till 1 o'clock really, so we can take this trade more than anything else. So if there's any questions, anything you want me to cover in the meantime, or anything you're not sure about, you know, by all means just let me know, and we'll get that, deal with whatever that is you want to deal with in terms of that. So now look, this is reversing now, so we'll see what happens here. I'm expecting the markets to now, you see, I mean 5 minutes to, I'm expecting to see some movement. So as we flick through, because 5 minutes to would mean that in 5 minutes this will close and we'll have our setup in place. Is that 2? I believe 2 should be correct. There we go. Down here is okay, it's fine. It should be 3, I think. 3 is up here. There we go. 3. Nope, it's not. So what is that? That must be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a weird way to do it, isn't it? So this must be 4 then. No, it's not. Why would it not be 4? It has to be 1. After all that, can you believe it? I've changed I set every option, but leaving it as it was. Here it is up here. So we know we've got just over 3.5 minutes to wait for that. See what that's going to do, and then we'll take the break. So this should break to the upside, really, shouldn't it? Do you see that? Because I'm going to take a trade on this time frame here. What I'm going to do is I am going to move my stop now to break even. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to lock in what? A bit less than the pip here I've locked in. This can come back now anytime and stop me out, but I don't really care. I kind of hope it does before, because I've done that now. I've got cancelled the one on the opposite side. Do you see that? Yeah. Because that one's gone. I can trail this now if I want to, but it's only 2 pips up. It's just no point. Might as well just leave that now and see what it does, because that's not going to affect my opposite trade. So if I just make sure I've got my experts on here correctly. Just beforehand, otherwise there will be none to place. Just quickly do this. That's in place. Here again. 15. 30. Same thing here again. I mean, I could just actually save it as a template, but I don't want this to be, I don't want to, this is just for you guys in the room right now, so you guys can see me trade this. There's only 2 of you in here, both of you are trading the same system, so it's quite cool. Take profit 15. So the 15.30 is for the breakouts. That's what I use it for, as a breakouts, yeah. So it should. You can't guarantee anything in trading, but it should help guarantee that it gets to my target, and hopefully we can see this play out before the session's over as well, which would be good. But that doesn't always happen, but we will see. What have we got in time? 2 minutes left. Then the last one, pound yen, that's been set. So pound yen's got quite a wide range. Look at that. It's 30 odd pips. So I wouldn't normally take that, but I'm going to take it in this room today. I'm going to take this one here, and you'll see exactly why I'm going to take it and why I'm happy to. This is our pound dollar. Let's see how that pans out. I mean, that's not far from target now. What is the max for pound yen? When you say what is max, are you talking about the range, Patrick? Range. It's not that we don't want to go over 30 pips, but you'll see today when I show you why you can do it at the range that it's at now, unless it's sort of a sudden done something crazy. No, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to do one side only. So I just want you guys to see it play out. But I'll do all the pairs that are on there so you can see what happens with all the pairs as it all plays out. Do you see what I mean? So we kind of want to see this one start closing now. So I'm just going to trail my stop on this one at 1.5 because now I don't care if it hits target or not. But I kind of want to close the position out. Good, done. So we can go ahead and place our trades. So this is 1 o'clock now. So I'm going to do this. Watch. Measure 1, 2 pips above it. Right click. Trade. Buy stop. Euro dollar. Same thing to the upside with the trend. Buy stop. Here I'm going to put a sell stop in place. 2 pips below. This is a sell stop as well. Just doing it with the trend, yeah. I'm gonna take this side as well. I'm gonna take this side. Do you know why? Because I don't want to miss an opportunity where it does break to the upside and we don't get a chance to get in it. This is a sell. Trend is clearly down. Sell stop. Yeah, if I'm taking both sides, it's a buy stop and a sell stop. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that one. So here to the downside, I'm going to hit a sell stop. Now to take the upside in this one, this is very rangy. This one here, I don't really like the fact that it's really rangy. Yeah, but the market should break before the. It should be rangy before the break. So here I've taken both sides. I just need one of them to trigger. I'll see here which one triggers, and then from there I'll just cancel the other one. So if I do this one here as well, I know Aussie dollar's looking a bit crappy right now. See how that pans out. Here, there's no clear direction. I think it's going to sell off, but if I take buy stop on it, and then the last one is a pound yen. So we're going to take the pound yen, 2 pips above, buy stop. I don't have that option to set a buy or sell stop. If you right click on the chart, and then you go, you see this list here. See when you go to trading, you should have buy limit, sell stop, alert, and new order. Do you see that, Patrick? You should. Yeah, you see that. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, because everybody can do that. So any function that I can do, you guys can do too. Now, you see that my stop loss is not. It's 30 pip stop loss, isn't it? It's not on the other side of this. So I'm not looking to put on the other side of this unnecessarily because I don't care. It's either going to break the upside or not. This thing starts coming down, I can hit a sell stop and see where it goes from there. Right now, nothing's triggered. So if we just have a look, nothing's triggered. Now this one here could end up being a sell stop. So if I do that, it's got to be just above it, just here. Trading, sell stop. Yeah, and it sets the rest of them up for me. I just cancel the one the opposite side of it. Do you see what I mean? This one here could fail to the downside. I don't see it at the moment. So I know I said I wasn't going to trade both sides of it, but I don't want you guys sitting in this room waiting and watching for something to happen. It doesn't happen. I'd be a bit gutted. I'm sure you would be too. So we'll just see which side breaks, which way. So So whichever side breaks, I have to cancel the opposite side though. You see that, yeah? I'll have to cancel the opposite side, so I'll know soon enough. Right, so I'm setting these at both sides now, yeah? On the break. So I'm basically saying is like, I don't care which way it goes. I'll take either side. And then I'll hedge the opposite position, whatever that is. This is our trade would have come straight to target, but we didn't want to be in it and wait around for it. Do you see what I mean with that? So we'll see what happens here once one of these trigger. Let's see what else is here while waiting. What else is going on while waiting? Pairs, we've got all the majors there. So that dollar yen, see that break to the upside on dollar yen out of the range. It was in tight range and it's finally broke up the upside. So we should have some movement there. I can't sell it right now. I would do, but I can't sell it right now because I've got a breakout trade on waiting to happen. So I don't want to confuse anything else that's going on with it. That's all. See if I can find one that we haven't traded on yet that might offer some opportunities. Oh, Euro pound's not in it. Look, Euro pound isn't in it, yeah. So we can trade Euro pound. Yeah, now Euro pound set up on this. Right there. Why is there's no setup here at the moment. Really. So I want some volatility, but there's something here. There will be some movement in this as well. So look, let me just take this anyway. On 1020, I'm gonna sell this to the downside so you guys can see it. Come up here, do this. It's clearly running against me, yeah. So we can see a trade take place and go to fruition. Alright, so let's see what it does in that case. While we're waiting for the markets to break and do something. For some reason they're really slow today. No one likes a slow market, do they? It's never the best. Move that down, and then we'll just flick through, see what else is going on. Yeah, so right now this is running against us, and we could get a strong move to the upside in the euro against the pound. Let's see, look at that pushing up, nice. Pound's pushing down, looks like we'll get a trigger to the downside. Euro dollar isn't moving around that much, so that must be all sterling movement. Dollar Swiss, dollar yen. So we could have Aussie dollar setting up as a sell here. Pound yen hasn't. Then there's euro pound. So let's see what euro pound's doing in the other time frames. We don't want to be just sitting around in these positions for too long. If the markets had a bit more movement, you see, I could do 4 or 5 of these trades, and you guys could see them play out, see how they hit their targets and stuff like that, and how we take the money out of it. If there's anything you guys want me to go through while we're waiting, then just let me know. Anything you want clarification on, and so forth. Or we just play the waiting game at the moment with this trade and these breakouts. Should get some movement pretty soon with these. You missed the beginning of what, Patrick? The beginning of of the session. Do you mean? Is that what we're talking about at the beginning of the session? Yeah, that we did here. Yeah, actually, you didn't miss that much at the beginning because we started quite late. Um, so I'll send you the recording anyway. But you'll see you haven't missed that much of it. So you're all good. Right, that's rejecting that side there. So they should be starting to liven up now because of Bollinger Bands. Oh, you know the Bollinger Bands, right? You know, sell when it hits top band, buy when it hits the bottom band. Here there was no real trade set up, but I took it anyway. Yeah, it's just so I want you guys to see if I'm hoping that this goes against me, but it's just the way, isn't it? You know. Um, it's just the way. Let's see what's happening here. So these still need to break. Come on. Did you guys trade London Open? London Open was good this morning. We should get a good US Open as well. Sometimes they don't break straight away though. But I'd expect to see a bit more action than this. I'm wondering if traders are a bit uncertain at the moment with everything that's going on. Do you see what I mean? Um, with the whole Syria thing. Yeah, Syria's a crazy thing. I just think, be honest with you, my viewpoint on it is that the West, this is us, right? The West is like we've been. If you think about like Iraq, for example, Afghanistan, and so forth, we have a hidden agenda over there in the Middle East, and it's to do with oil and resources and stuff like that. We've been over in the world, and we've taken everybody's resources anyway. That's why so many people come back here all the time. Um, and going off to Syria to bomb it without taking it to debate in Parliament. It seems like Theresa May's gone on engaged in this whole bombing escapade. Considering we can't afford police officers, we can't afford the NHS and all this kind of stuff that we can't afford, but she can afford bombs. You know what it's like. It's like the crackhead that can't afford to buy himself a meal or a cup of coffee, so he begs it from you. You know, and then with his money he goes off and buys crack. Do you see what I mean? It's a bit like that. Um, so I mean, personally, my viewpoint is I'm disgusted in it. I don't believe that Assad was bombing these kids and stuff like that. If you look at things have to make sense in life, and it doesn't make sense because one of the questions being asked was, well, how does he benefit from it? How does he benefit from it? And Russia's asked a lot of questions as well. So Russia's asked questions that haven't been answered. It's the most frustrating thing when something like this is going on. And you ask the questions. One of the questions is like, because we know the inspection didn't take place. So before they can get there to do the inspection, so they blew up this whole chemicals plant, destroyed his chemical weapons. Yeah, which by the way, the US is the biggest holder of chemical weapons. So they want to be careful. A few bombs dropped on their soil, and it could have a detrimental effect on the US more than what they realise. The UK, we don't want war. We don't want to go up against people like Russia because we couldn't fight Russia. Russia could destroy us in an instant. We're not equipped militarily to deal with that kind of thing. We can't handle like a bunch of hooligans on a bike stealing stuff on our streets, and now want to go somewhere else and start bombing over there. So with the whole Syria escapade that's going on, so she hasn't turned around and said, she what's her name, Theresa May hasn't turned around and said to anybody, look, this is what we need to do, this situation, let's have a vote, what do you think? No, she just pushed it through anyway. Doesn't she remind you a lot of what's his name, Tony Blair and George Bush? It was more or less the same sort of thing. Took us to war on the basis that they believed, well, we believe he has weapons of mass destruction, we believe he's going to do this, and we believe he's going to do that. And politicians are the worst when it comes to actually being honest or straightforward. They hide everything they do. There's never a straight answer. You listen to people like Boris Johnson. I think Boris Johnson is a waste, and Theresa May's a waste. I know it sounds like I'm being a bit like what's his name, that one foot in the grave, just moaning and bitching about stuff. But it's not a case of that. It's cases I'm giving an opinion. Exactly, they have a bunker to go to. If war happens, those people that are calling for war, these are the ones. These guys have got their safe haven. They've got their stockpiles. They'll be okay. You know, the MPs and stuff. They'll be okay. They've got themselves protected initially, first of all. You know, when they reduce police on the streets, they haven't reduced them outside Parliament and Westminster. They haven't reduced them outside Number 10. These guys still have all their same privileges, and it's only us, the people, that lack it. You know. Um, I can't remember who said it. Someone said something interesting like, if you want to know what's going on, just start calling things as they are, as opposed to using names they've been given. You know, because a lot of times that's what it is. Politicians do it really well. They use names or they use phrases in order to sort of douse the flames of something, so it doesn't appear to be as bad as it is. But I don't know if you guys know this. Actually, while we're waiting for something to happen, I'll show you this. Let me get a pen. So I don't know if you guys ever study etymology. Etymology is the study of the origin of words. Etymology, right? So, you know, government is two words, yeah? I mean, don't take my word for it. Do your own research on this. Look it up for yourself. But two words. The first is to govern or control. This is what it translates as in etymology. Look it up. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. And then meant, as in mental, which is the mind. Yeah. And now look, if you called the government by that name, you know, it'd be a different story when you're looking to vote and do things like that and so forth, isn't it? You see. Look, Euro pound sold off, by the way. So we've got a trigger on Euro pound. So let's go to Euro pound and have a look. Oh no, this Euro pound's sorry, Aussie dollar sold off. There you go. Look, that's triggered. With that being triggered, I need to cancel the opposite side. Delete that, yeah? You see that? But now what I'm going to do is I'm going 1530. So I need to, in case we're wrong, you know, we're still not in the clear yet. We're still not in profit with this one. I'm going 6 lots, the opposite end. So I'm coming here. I'm looking 15 to the opposite end, just in case. Yeah, so I'll put it in here. Buy stop. Bang, sets up for me automatically based on the opens. So we'll see how that plays out. If that comes in, hits our target. It took a bit of a while for that to break out, isn't it? This morning, maybe we'll get some more following suit. But it's not had a really big clean break. Ideally, I want to see this thing play out while you guys are here watching. You know, so you can see it. So you can have it for yourself as well. Euro pound, that's just our trade that we were in, seeing what's going to happen with that. I'm not going to cancel the hedge on the other side of this just yet. I just want to let it play out and go to target because we've got nothing on Euro pound to trade. And there's no breakout on Euro pound for the US session. So now this here could be a break to the upside by looks the price action itself. We'll see what that does. Euro dollar, at the moment not seeing much, but it's markets starting to liven up a little bit more than what they were previously. Dollar Swiss, we're not seeing much movement there at the moment. We need a bit more to see something happen there. Dollar yen, huh? Dollar yen has had one little small break and it seems to have gone stagnant again for some reason. Alright, let's see what New Zealand dollar's going to do. That could be alright for a breakout. Nice tight range. Dollar CAD, not yet. So it is basically this one here. It's just this one here. See if that goes to target and hits target, and if the other one hits target as well. Then we'll see if the other ones play out as well. Yeah. How you guys find this? Just doing some live trading, just watching me trade. So we're not really doing much learning as such in the way of let me teach you something or give you instructions, but more of like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm trading the moves and stuff, and what I'm looking to get out of them. Does that work better for you guys? Do you like that or not? Or do you prefer when we're giving you loads of instructions, or what's the story? Let me get some feedback from you guys to see what your viewpoint is on this. Donald answer at once. I'm a bit inundated here. 1 minute. Cool. Do you see what I mean? See why this is what I'm going to say this to you guys, because this is a bit of a closed session. It works in line with the instructions. I'm more confident in my trades. Yeah, perfect, excellent. That's what I like to see. Do you know? I was going to say something really quickly. Do you remember when we were trailing? You know, when you trail the stop, and you know, I know. Um, we'll be in 15. It's good to see you picking trades. Yeah, excellent. I want to start doing a few more sessions like this, but I think I might do it with a small select group. Like because there's 5 people that I've taught this specific way of trading to. Yeah, and I know there was a bit of like there was a bit of so I know like there was a bit of conflict in some of the stuff that Neil and I both said. So we've got slightly different way of doing things. We trade the same strategies, but our own ways. And so people have asked me and said, look, you know, I'm getting stopped out at break even, trading my stop loss, which is okay, it's protecting the account. But when the trade goes against me and doesn't give me the chance to be able to use my stop. So if we take from here, for example, it goes against them. In this trade here, let's say at one lot it's 100 quid you'd lose, then it's like you lose 100 quid. If you get stopped out at break even on the other trades, it's going to take many trades for you to make that money back. So the odds are heavily stacked against you. So what I said to a few people was like, in that case, you know, just let it run. Don't worry about the trailing stop loss. Let the trade run and go to target in that case. You know, so it's in line with it coming back as well. And so it's a bit. Some people prefer it one way, some prefer it another way. Some people are. Do you see what I mean? But at the same time, no matter what, there's still mathematics and numbers involved. So the reason I want to do this with you guys in this live room is because you guys are trading the system, and you can see like had I trailed my stop on this, I would have been out of this trade already. Yeah. And we want actually. I know you guys want to make some money. I want you guys to make some money too. The more money you make, the more you're going to trade as well. Do you see what I mean? So I want to see that. So you see this one here now, it's still ticking around, still in the safe zone. We've got no reason to worry or concern ourselves about that. But if this thing just pops up to here, bang, we're in the money. If it just keeps going down, bang, we're in the money. Do you see what I mean? Which is much nicer scenario than you got it, yeah, perfect. Dollar yen just hit your head, yeah. Okay, cool. So let's see how dollar yen performs. You could see a push straight to the upside with dollar yen. We don't know yet, but at the moment that hasn't triggered. 2 pips above the range. And remember, right? We buy at the worst price and we sell at the worst price. Yeah, remember that when you're looking to get in as well. I know, yeah, I know it was Josh. I remember it. We were speaking about it earlier. So that's what I'm saying. Like you could get straight pushed to the upside. Either way for you, it doesn't matter which way it goes, does it? So let's see how it pans out. Hoping that you guys will see quite a few more trading opportunities in this whole thing than what we've seen so far. Euro pound is still just ticking around. Now euro pound, if I don't like it, I want to cut it. I can cut it any time. I'm still going to make a profit on it anyway. Do you see what I mean? So these, if I do profit in deposit currency, you can see it's 60 quid. So it's not the worst in the world neither, you know. It doesn't need much to hit its target. Really, that's where I wanted to get in, was here. Ideally when it pushed into hit. This is when I would have wanted to get in. See, it looks like it's starting to stagnate a bit, isn't it? But then this could be it. Pushes up, pulls back, and keeps going. Let's see. Pound dollar, not showing much at the moment. Well, could get ready for a breakout here to the downside on euro dollar. Chances are, if euro dollar breaks to the downside, we'll see a further push in the Aussie dollar, and we'll see a push down also in pound dollar. So we'll see how that works out. I don't need to keep flicking through these, it's not necessary. I can just watch here to see where I'm getting triggered. Do you see that? What did I get triggered? Is that dollar yen was a new trade that I got triggered in that we didn't look at? Dollar yen, yeah. So dollar yen now I've been hit with that buy to the upside. So now that I've been hit with the buy to the upside, what I want to do is right click. I'm going to cancel, sorry, delete. I'm going to delete this one here because I'm not going to look to take the break to the downside. It's not worth it. I'm in long. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to win this position regardless. 15, isn't it? So we want 15. Why can't I just nail that? 15, 49. That would have to do. Self stop. So now I've got my hedge in place on both of those. So we'll see how they play out. Let me just try put this back to points. I'd rather see it as points because I can keep better an eye on what it's doing. This way, what I'm doing is trading the movement in that way. What's triggered? Euro dollar's now triggered. So you see, euro dollar now triggered to the downside. Yeah. Again, this is the same scenario. I'm just going to come here. I don't want my buy stop in place now. I'm already trading the break to the downside. Delete that. That's gone. And then 3 times the amount. I'm going to hedge in the opposite direction. 15 pips. There you go, 15 pips. Buy stop, bang. So if I'm wrong, I can be alright anyway, no matter what. Just got to see how this thing plays out. Now, pound dollar's yet to trigger. Euro dollar's in. Dollar Swiss yet to trigger. Dollar yen we're in. New Zealand dollar yet to trigger. Tight range. You know, if you guys go right click, indicators list, double click on here, see it's got text color. I'm just going to change that so I've got some a white on the back background, and then true. I'm going to put change the show label to true so we can see the label. See the label here? It tells me I've got an 8.2 range. Do you see that? Now I've noticed that some people like that. Some people have asked me to have that on the chart so they can see it, because you can see where the high is, you can see where the low is, and you can see what the range is as well. At a glance, like a bird's eye view. You like that, don't you? Yeah. So you can do that. I took it off myself just because aesthetics. That's all. Aesthetics. So it's more aesthetically pleasing because I'm not seeing so much on the chart. Just don't like to see as much on the chart as all that. Sometimes like that though. Sometimes you will see more on the chart. So at the moment, all we're doing is just watching. See what happens. That's all. And what we're looking to do with this, yeah. So with hedging, just so you guys know, yeah, because at the moment in the room, it's a slow Monday for some reason. It's a weird Monday as well. I found, like, just the feeling in general in the air is a bit weird. But anyway, with it being, I've just got Josh and Patrick, you both in the room today. That's why I can candidly talk like this. What was I going to say before that? My gosh, losing my mind. Not losing my mind. Losing my train of thought sometimes. So let's see what this thing pushes up or down. I can't remember what I was going to say now. But I'd want you guys to see the whole thing play out. Look, you see, this here is Aussie dollar, yeah? AUD, USD. See, starting to push down again. Carrying on with the breakout. Etymology, yeah. Etymology is the study of the origin of words. It's worth studying etymology. in a big way, understand the origin of words, because then you start understanding things that you say. Like, look, I'm going to just divert from this a little bit because we can't do nothing while this is going on. This is really what it's like when you're in a trading group, right? So if you guys are ever in a trading group, like I used to be in quite a few different ones, and half the times you're talking about all kinds of stuff and having banter, and sharing jokes and stuff, because most of the time you're just waiting around for it to get to your price, you know. And that's kind of what we're doing now. So yeah, this is it. So for example, what is it? It's like the words we use. Hello, hello. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Hello, hello. It's still the same word. So as soon as you say hello to somebody, so the thinking behind this is, right. So I'm going to just give you guys a little bit of insight into something about, maybe, because this is what I'm like. You know, I'm not the type of person that go out partying and clubbing, and I don't go to strip clubs and don't gamble and things like that. Not that I'm a saint or anything, because, you know, I'm far from being a saint. You know, we all have our ways. I'm not a saint. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I just certain habits and certain things I just don't gravitate towards, right? So it's not saying I don't gravitate towards it because I think it's wrong, it's bad, and this and that. You know, I know a lot of guys that like to go out partying in strip clubs and casinos and all kinds of places like that. Yeah, I'm a nerd, mate. But I'm a bit of a nerd, funny enough. I like to stay in and study. That's me. So I can be engaged in, like, if it's an information book or video or something for ages. And, you know, if I had to leave the house and go out somewhere and I'm watching something or I'm learning something, a lot of times what I'll do is I will not go out to stay and learn about it. But at the same time, it's where you get a lot of this insight in terms of how the markets work. So if we ever sat down, one thing that you will know about me is it's not enough for me to know what's going on the surface. I need to know more. I need to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig deeper. So it's like the other words that we use. So the saying is that the English language, now, you know, we write like this. So if we wrote something and I was going to write, for example, trading, I'd write from left to right, wouldn't I? Trading, yeah. So you look at different parts of the world, especially in the East, and they write the opposite way to us, right? Now the saying is actually that everything leads back to Jerusalem, Israel. So if you're on this side here, then you write this way. But if you're on this side here, you write backwards, all pointing towards the center. We come into the center. In other words, you're writing to God. It's the saying, yeah. That's how it's been one of the things that I learned about this type of writing things. But the point of that is more so is that because we write backwards, we also speak backwards. And if you look at the Hebrew language and the way it's written, it will start to make a bit more sense. But it said that language it's a type. English language is like a spell that binds us, yeah. And it's kind of weird. So you might say to somebody, you know, good morning, yeah, which is a nice gesture. But, you know, the word morning, what does it actually mean? If you're mourning, then you're grieving the loss, aren't you? So you wouldn't want someone to wish morning on you in that way. Now I know people are going to say, and I know in your mind you might think like, well, wait a minute, but they're talking about something else. Okay, I get that, right? I get that, but right, just because you're talking about something else doesn't mean the meaning isn't there. No matter what you're referring to, you're still saying it, yeah? So it's a bit like if I said something that was offensive, yeah, to one of you guys, right? But I said it in conversation, it doesn't mean I'm still not saying something that's offensive. Do you see where I'm coming with this, right? So the English language itself, and it's good to really study it, and there's a lot of videos and stuff online that you can look up in relation to it, but you see that words have more than one meaning. There's a reason why we have this word here, where to, and I think there's another way to spell it as well, isn't there? What is it? Oh yeah, and where as well. And where, yeah. So all the same words, they've all got the same phonetics, the same sound, the same phonetic sound, yeah. Hey, look, we should have there's triggers at 15. Sorry, my bad. Doesn't trigger yet. Triggers at 15. Let's quickly just go through and see what's happened here. I'll come back to this. Yeah, where, that's it. Thank you, Patrick. So look, here we sold this, and look, it's failed. And you guys must be in situations where you see this, you sell it, and it fails. You haven't had a chance to go to break even, did you? Look, it's come in, it's just hit your order and it's failed. So now, by doing this, we shouldn't have to care. We're going to care if it becomes range bound, because I've got quite a few positions opened here. But I've got margin in the account to hold it anyway. This trading like this is just about margin, that's all it is. So we'll see what happens. But the point is, like, we don't need to sit there being like, oh shit, I'm going to take a loss on this. I'm not happy. You don't have to worry about that. Do you see what I mean? Josh, you know, now that it's triggered your hedge to the upside, you know you need to have a hedge in place to the downside. So if I get one that triggers here, I'll show it to you and you'll see it. What am I missing? Has something triggered that I haven't seen, or what? No, it can't be. So now, pound yen hasn't triggered. Perfect. New Zealand dollar, that's triggered. So New Zealand dollar, the buy stop on New Zealand dollar, let me go there. So you've got to keep an eye on it. Has got to go. I've got to delete that. I'm going to come in at 6 now, in case I'm wrong. Above here, 15. Leave that in place. That's put all my stop loss and take profit on the opposite sides of that now. Yeah. So I've done that. Pound yen hasn't triggered. Dollar Swiss, has that triggered? Nope. Pound dollar. Pound dollar hasn't triggered yet. No, it hasn't. Right. Pound yen. Pound yen hasn't triggered, has it? No. Did I? Dollar Swiss, pound dollar. I've got £2 here. Oh yeah, buy and sell. Sorry, my bad. Dollar CAD. Dollar Swiss, has that triggered? USD no. So I should have 2 on dollar Swiss. Yeah, buy and sell. And then pound dollar the same as well. Yeah. So if your trade with the trend fails, then the hedge should be 3 times the counter trade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. So the way it works. Actually, before I answer that question, just on here, just so you remember, the phonetics is still the same. So look where the language came from. Yeah, it was the Phoenicians that brought us language. That's why we have phonetics. Yeah, and then from phonetics, you know, we get phone, and we also get phony. So again, if it mixes it up in your mind and you can't speak correctly, then the results that you usually get from the way that you think can be extremely wrong. It's kind of a weird thing, I know, and if you've never looked at it before, studied it before, it's new to you, it can seem a bit strange, but it's worth looking at. And I can go a lot more into it, yeah? I can go much deeper. Logo comes from the word logos, which is Greek. Logos means the word of God. And in the Bible it said, and I'm not a religious person, but neither am I a person that doesn't believe that there's anything more than what we are, right? In the Bible it said, and in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word is of God, and the Word is God. Oh, I've got so many, I don't even know where to begin. Really weird ones as well, actually. I've got so many really weird books on different esoteric subjects, and I also study a lot of esoteric subjects, because what we're looking for constantly is our essence, isn't it? Where do we come from, how we hear, and so forth and stuff like that. So I do a lot of that. Now every company has a logo as well. A logo is made up of a symbol, right? A logo is a symbol. Symbols are the lost language of the subconscious mind, because a symbol we recognize anywhere. You know, if you're driving in another country, a foreign country, you see a symbol, what does that mean? You know, well, it shows you that if that symbol says like stop, you don't have to know the language to know the symbol, right? Well, just so you know, logos can be created from words. Yeah, exactly. We look left to right, not right to left, which means if we write backwards, we speak backwards. If we speak backwards, it means the language is distorted now. So the empowering language that we give ourselves sometimes is not so empowering. The English language is not very empowering. In China, we say here, I'm going to buy a house, which means it's always in the future tense. In China, they say, I buy a house, which means it's in the past tense, which means they've done it, they've completed it already. And there's something in there, especially if you look up law of attraction, because we all know about law of attraction now in this current day and age. A lot of times I don't like to speak about this stuff just because when I was young, I had a lot of slack from it. When I was like 13, 14 years old, talking about certain things, and it was just like, oh, he's not right in his head, there's something wrong with this kid. And that's how my people around me, my peers and parents and stuff saw me. My dad wasn't around, but it was my mum and like My uncles and aunts and family members and adults just saw me as being really weird and stuff like that. And you know, funny enough, now a lot of the stuff that I said to them previously back then now is just public knowledge. Everybody knows about it, and do you see what I mean? But anyway, it's a weird world. But sorry, you had a question on this here. So let me just, I don't want to miss the question because we've been here for quite a while. We're just waiting for these trades to play out. So what happens is this: if you buy, yeah, at 1, yeah, and your stop, yeah, is 30 pips. Yeah, same happened to you. There you go. You see, I'm not the only one. Kindred spirit. And your stop loss on this is 30 pips. Yeah, so it's 30 pip risk. And then you're looking for 15 pips of take profit. Yeah, 15 pip take profit. Yeah. So and you're in at 1. Yeah, your trade size is 1. Say 1 lot, for example. It still happens today. Yeah. Well, see now I'm not so quick to share with so many people. I don't get in so many conversations with different people. They've either got to have an open enough mind that we can have a discussion, or I just don't discuss with them. Because ignorant people, what it is you can't argue with a fool. Because the fool has more experience. He's better at it than what you are. So he's always going to win that foolish argument. Do you see what I mean? So what happens here? You make 15 pips, yeah? If it hits your profit target, you make 15 pips. By having the hedge against you, 15 pips below, yeah, the sell at 3 lots now, all you're making here is your 15 pips again, yeah. But what happens is you're making 15 pips times 3, yeah. So if I just do that 15 times 1, that'd be 45. So if we did it all at 1, that means to the downside you'd win 45, but to the upside, because you got a 30 pip take stop loss, sorry, to the upside, your 30 pip trade would be a loser. So you'd be net 15 pips in profit. Yeah, a 15 pip win. That's what you'd see. When you're looking at just on the other side of that, when you're looking at if you have to hedge more than once, yeah. So let's just say, for example, something that's is this triggered? This is triggered, yeah. Let's say this comes up, hits here, right? I mean, wouldn't that be a bit crappy if this came up here, hit here, triggered my buy stop, and then started selling off, right? Now what I'd do is I'd go in again here, and I'd go twice the amount, not 3 times. I only go 3 times on the first trade. Next time I'm going to go for twice the amount because I've already got selling here. So here I'd go for 12 and sell it down to 12, yeah? What will happen is the more you hedging, you're still making 15 pips no matter what in profit, but the amount that you make could be a lot more because obviously you've got a bigger trade size on it. And then that's how you see how accounts can grow quite rapidly. Hedging, you'll find, is one of the quickest ways to grow the account where you don't need to worry about it, look at it, you don't have to be exceptionally correct in your entry neither. You can be off a few pips here and there, and it's nothing major as well, yeah? So it's coming up to 2 o'clock, and we still haven't seen these things play out. So it feels more like double or quits until it plays in your favour. Yeah, it's kind of a bit like that, but you're not doing it at any point. So right now the markets ain't moved much for you to see, but let's compare this to what you're currently doing. And you don't have to trade this way if you don't want, Josh. What you could do is you could say, I'm just going to take it one way. We could have not had the sell in place and say we're just going to take the break. You know, but the fact is you guys do want to make money, and I want you guys to make money also. So I've taken a small group of you and taught this to you guys so you guys can make money, yeah, with it. So this is an actual legitimate hedging strategy. I mean, if you look at how a fund trades, this is what they do. So this should release the tension, worries or concerns or anything. You see, now that's triggered my buy. Bang, I'm in. Typically, when it's open, that thing should go straight up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my other trade in here, the opposite side at 12. Anyway, if I do now, bring that down so that's level, 15 pips, there you go. If that fails and I'm wrong, then it will come down and I'll still take my profit anyway, no matter what. So either way, the bottom line is I can't lose anything on this. Do you see what I mean? Let's see if anything else is triggered that we need to deal with. Cable hasn't triggered. Euro dollar trade. We know we're in that both sides now. Hedged on that one. We're still waiting for dollar Swiss to trigger, aren't we? No, dollar Swiss is sold. It's sold. So if dollar Swiss is sold, it means I need to get rid of the buy stop on here and then take it in the opposite direction. So I'm going to go in 6. Take it 15. Buy stop. Now that's hedged out as well. Dollar yen. See what that's doing. It's still just ticking around at the moment. There's no reason to concern ourselves with that just yet. Dollar Swiss only broke to the downside at the moment. No, it hasn't broke. It must have broke to the downside, otherwise it wouldn't. Here it is. Sorry, my bad. Dollar CAD hasn't triggered yet, and then Aussie dollar is still here. Pound yen, we're still waiting for that to break out as well. Pound yen. Then a euro pound trade, we're still in this one. So what we'll do, we'll end here for now. Do you guys want to come back and revisit this at some point today? Yeah. So what we'll do is, if the markets start moving a bit more, I'll just send you a quick message letting you know that we can see how they played out. If you guys want to do that. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll send it to you. If I get a response, then I can open it up for you guys. Yeah. Cool. All right. Perfect. So we'll leave it for now. You see what the positions are, so you can monitor them yourself if you need to, and then I'll speak to you guys a bit later. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. I'll get recording done for you guys. I'm not going to share the rest of the group, but I'll send it out to both of you so you can have that. Yeah. All right. Perfect. I'll speak to you guys in a bit.